Hey BBYO!
The past 24 hours have been amazing as we kicked off the night with a beautiful Shabbat service.
We had various services for our teens to enjoy, including separates programs and also ONEG sessions.
The next morning, we honored our graduating senior class with a senior class breakfast.
Then after that, we had so many incredible Limud sessions with some amazing speakers.
We had a meet and greet with Josh Peck, and then we ended the night with an amazing night at Universal Studios with rides and attractions.
Now we're going to kick it down to the ballroom for plenaries.
The officers will take their stations and the grand order of the Aleph Tzadik Aleph will come to order. Shoter Gadol.
Grand Aleph Skan.
Are all present members of AZA, BBYO, or guests?
Grand Aleph Skan. All present are members of AZA, BBYO, or guests.
Grand Aleph Moreh.
Grand Aleph Sagan.
See that the Shoter Gadol is on guard and knows his duty.
Aleph Shoter Gadol. The order is about to study some of the beautiful symbols of Judaism and patriotism. See that we are not disturbed by idlers. Grand Aleph Sagan. The order is safe from intrusion.
Grand Aleph Moreh. Why did you seek admission to this order?
To join with those Jews who have dedicated their youth to clean living so that they may become manly men.
Grand Aleph Maskir. What are the qualifications for membership?
To be the son of a Jew of good moral character and to be filled with a desire to be helpful.
Aleph Shoter Katon, you will present to the order the colors of our countries.
Grand Aleph Sagan, I have the honor to present to you the order of the colors of our countries. The red and black of Albania, the blue and white of Argentina, the green and red of Belarus, the yellow, blue, and white of Bosnia and Herzegovina, the green, red, and white of Bulgaria, the red and white of Canada,
the red, white, and blue of Chile,
the yellow and red of China,
the yellow, red, and blue of Colombia,
the red, white, and blue of Croatia, the red, white, and blue of Cuba, the yellow, blue, and white of Curacao, the red and white of Denmark, the blue, black, and white of Estonia, the white and blue of Finland, the red, white, and blue of France, the red and white of Georgia, the black, yellow, and red of Germany, the red, white, and green of Hungary, the green, white, and orange of Ireland, the blue and white of Israel, the red, white, and green of Italy, the red and white of Latvia, the red, yellow, and green of Lithuania, the yellow and red of Macedonia,
the green, white, and red of Mexico,
the red, yellow, and blue of Moldova, the red, white, and blue of New Zealand, the red, blue, and white of Russia, the red, white, and blue of Serbia, the red, white, and blue of Slovakia, the black, yellow, green, white, red, and blue of South Africa, the red and yellow of Spain, the red and white of Switzerland, the white and red of Turkey, the blue and yellow of Ukraine, the red, white, and blue of the United Kingdom, the red, white, and blue of the United States of America, and the yellow, blue, and white of Uruguay.
This year, a Grand Aleph Kohen Gadol will lead us in prayer. Jason Wachs, the 83rd Grand Aleph Gadol.
Our Father, who art in heaven and in our hearts, we humbly ask Thee to help us to be worthy sons of Thee, to lead clean lives, to think clean thoughts, and to do decent deeds. Help us to be good Jews, loyal countrymen, honorable comrades, worthy of the commendation of all good men.
I now declare this special meeting of the Grand Order of the Aleph Tzadik Aleph of BBYO open for business. Aleph Shoter Gadol inform the Aleph Shoter Katon.
We are gathered here for the purpose of accomplishing our business at hand. But more than that, we and all of the chapters in the world are working towards a great goal. This is a goal toward which each of us can help, a goal towards peace and happiness for all humanity. And this can be accomplished through the Menorah Pledge principles. Let us now think of what we can do to bring our goal to a speedier realization. Let us give our wholehearted attention to the words our Shomer Habrit shall now read.
How wonderful it is that nobody need wait a single moment before they start to improve the world. Anne Frank.
We are the B'nai B'rith girls. Strength and dignity are our clothing. Our faith is renewed after hearing such fine words of wisdom. May we in our deliberations at this meeting live up to the expectations of the high ideals we and the B'nai B'rith girls have set for ourselves. I now declare this meeting officially open for business. I would like to call those Alephs and B'nai B'rith girls who will recite the Cardinal and Menorah Pledge principles. The light of the menorah symbolizes the knowledge and strength of our order. The 7 branches represent the power we have to affect our world by enriching ourselves. Citizenship.
Citizenship. We pledge our devotion to our beloved country, whose blessing we shall never take for granted. We shall guard zealously our democratic rights and shall fulfill our duties as citizens.
Patriotism.
Patriotism. Loyalty to the homeland, to its laws, its principles, and its ethics. To die for it if necessary,
but primarily to live for it.
Jewish heritage.
Jewish heritage. We have a magnificent Jewish heritage which will enrich the civilization of every land. We shall aim to become imbued with an understanding and love of our Jewish culture so that we may be a conscious part of the people from whom we stem. We shall always strive to live up to the ideals which are the essence of Jewish religious faith.
Charity.
Charity. To give of myself and my substance for all worthy causes. To be kind and generous to all in need, regardless of race and color.
Community service.
Community service. We recognize our responsibility to render selfless service as citizens of the community in which we live.
Filial love.
Filial love, ever to honor and love one's parents, to be considerate of elders and respect age.
Philanthropy.
Philanthropy. We shall always be concerned with the underprivileged and the distressed. We shall offer our help to those in need, recognizing that the ability to help others is a blessing and a responsibility.
Conduct.
Conduct. Never too bold, never too forward. Ever humble, ever observing the principles of gentlemen.
Interfaith relations.
In faith relations, we represent one of the faiths that make up the diverse pattern of the world. We shall learn to understand and respect our neighbors. We shall so live as individuals and groups that we may reflect credit upon the Jewish people.
Purity.
Purity, to keep my soul pure, my mind active, and my body healthy.
Tradition. We shall try to exemplify in our home the finest of Jewish family traditions.
Judaism.
Judaism. Always to observe the tenets of my faith, ever to do justice, love mercy, and walk humbly with the Lord our God.
Good sisterhood.
Good sisterhood. We make possible the warmth and joy of our good sisterhood through the association of our chapters. We shall respect the rights of each member. We shall make our chapter a true example of democratic living so that the companionship and friendship may endure.
Fraternity.
Fraternity, a spirit of sociability, of cooperation, and of friendship towards all Alphs that shall make us one fellowship, and a loyalty to AZA and all its ideals.
Prayer for world Jewry.
Prayer for world Jewry. Lighting the candles is a privilege as we, as B'nai B'rith girls and as Jews, are able to exhibit. Although we understand that there are Jews in our world who cannot openly express their Judaism, we hope that one day the Jews will be able to practice Judaism as freely as we are doing here today. It is our hope that our small individual flames can come together to create a larger light that burns so brightly, the light of our Jewish pride.
Please join me in the recognition of Israel with the singing of Hatikvah. On the floor to dispense of all other business and move directly into the State of the Order address as given by the 93rd Grand Aleph Gadol, Ron Hassan, and the 73rd International Nasiya, Rebecca Saraboff.
The chair recognizes Central Region West.
Is there a second?
The chair recognizes Northern Region East Baltimore Council.
Is there a call?
Is there any dissent? Seeing and hearing none, we will now move directly into the State of the Order address as given by the 93rd Grand Aleph Gadol, Ron Hassan, and the 73rd International Nasiya, Rebecca Saraboff.
אם תרצו, אין זו אגדה. ואם לא תרצו, אגדה היא ואגדה תישאר.
If you will it, it is no dream. And if you do not will it, a dream it is, and a dream it will stay.
We, the Jewish people, are no strangers to the power of a dream. We have a tradition built upon memory, and we are a community that has successfully navigated the turmoil of history because of our age-old shared vision. Even while dispersed for thousands of years, our dreams have inspired resilience, perseverance, and unity.
We make the dreams real. That's the secret of the Jewish people. We are a story of hope, of integrity, and of deep loyalty to values, to our sense of self, to each other, and to a heritage that has been preserved since Sinai. Together, we're stronger. Olives and B'nai B'rith girls display this every day. If you will it, it is no dream. Together, we will.
In early 1923, when a group of Jewish boys in Omaha were excluded socially because of their faith, a dream was born. Inspired by Sam Bieber's vision, these boys took to creating a Jewish fraternity that would stretch to encompass the entire world. Shaped by this dream and by so many brave boys willing it to be so, 94 years later, AZA stands united as one crew. If you will it, it is no dream. Together, we will.
In 1925, the effort to build the B'nai B'rith girls as a counterpart to AZA was launched. For nearly 2 decades, Anita Perlman faced repeated setbacks and obstacles. Nevertheless, she persisted for this dream. BBG has been alive and well since 1944. If you will it, it is no dream. Together we will.
For generations, our ancestors wandered Earth, wishing, waiting, and working to one day return as a free people to our land. By willing that dream into a plan, the most miraculous moment in modern Jewish history came to be, and the modern-day State of Israel was established in 1948. If you will it, it is no dream. Together, we will.
At our most fragile point in BBYO history, Lynn Schusterman saw a thriving movement that ignited leadership, service, and friendship among Jewish teens worldwide. As founding chair of the new and independent BBYO, she worked to ensure that BBYO would return to being the world's largest Jewish teen movement, building a vibrant Jewish future. If you will it, it is no dream. Together we will.
So, here we are, gathered at our movement's largest moment yet. We may celebrate IC's size, but it's only one indicator of the vibrancy of the BBYO movement at large. We are returning to an era where every Jewish teen anywhere in North America or around the world can easily connect to a local club or chapter and discover themselves, find friends like them, learn skills, make mistakes, and be a part of something so much bigger than they had ever realized they could.
Our dream is that every Jewish teen knows that they have a home in BBYO. With us, they can live bold lives, lead and shape events, and practice Judaism freely. We are willing this to happen, together, across the globe.
What makes 80,000 Jewish teens, 500,000 living alumni, or our network of BBYO-branded chapters and partner clubs one movement, one family? Our moves. The moves we make as a movement are inspired by the shared core principles, the Menorah Pledge and cardinal principles, and our actions unite Olives and BBGs are, and what we stand for around the world. It's what we do together and what we can do for others, both Jewish teens and the world at large, that make us one.
Together, we're welcoming more Jewish teens than we have in decades. Last summer, we reached and then surpassed 20,000 North American members. This isn't just a milestone for our history books, it is a testament to our strength and the fact that our movement has momentum and we show no signs of slowing. AZA and BBG are on track to leap forward again in incredible ways this year. Our expansion is rapid. We've launched 40 new chapters in the last year, and we're building BBYO partnerships in half a dozen new countries. The Jewish teen world is growing more connected, and we're welcoming more teens into our movement in more places.
So many communities worldwide elevated BBYO this past fall with bigger than ever kickoff events and unprecedented Fall Fest experiences. We received testimonials and photography from massive successes in Arizona, Boston, Budapest, Buenos Aires, Bulgaria, Calgary, California, Charlotte, Chicago, Detroit, London, Montreal, New Jersey, New York, Ohio, Seattle, South Florida, St. Louis, Winnipeg, to name a few. These amazing engagement efforts introduced BBYO to thousands of new teens who we can now invite to become our brothers and sisters. Our chapters, big and small, have momentum and prove that with the right experiences, we can grow anywhere.
Terrific examples of this rising energy can be seen across BBYO Canada. The Canadian National Cabinet is on fire. Lake Ontario is cracking into new communities. Red River's programming is elevating. Northwest Canada's chapters are growing stronger. And Eastern Canada is roaring back with the new teen network in Montreal. At IC, we welcomed more than 100 Canadian delegates alone. As BBYO Canada's profile rises on the international scene, we are returning the International Order's presence to Canada too. As we announced at IC 2017, 2 new chapter leadership training conferences, sessions 2 and 6, will take place outside of Montreal this summer. Now, the largest Jewish teen movement in the country, BBYO, will return to Vancouver later this year. Canada could not be BBYO's next great growth story. We couldn't be prouder of how AZA and BBG are excelling there today.
We also couldn't be prouder of how BBYO is leading where it matters most. Across our order, teens are making everything we offer more welcoming, accessible, and inclusive for teens of all identities, needs, and abilities. Led by our International Inclusion Task Force, our communities are ensuring teens of all backgrounds, sexual orientations, gender identities, and all levels of Jewish knowledge feel at home. Olive and B'nai B'rith girls are using our movement's platform to take part in social justice protests, raise money for charity, and strengthen communities as they see fit. To do the most good, we must recognize that we have influence. Our membership and global network gives us power. We can ignite lasting change.
Since our order's founding, AZA and BBG has strived to fulfill a higher purpose, to take action that will meaningfully impact others. It requires energy, focus, and heart to bring our values to life. This year's recipients of the Menorah Pledge and Cardinal Principal Awards are just some of the many brothers and sisters that are willing our ideals into actions. These honorees were nominated by their friends for their character and the kindness they regularly offer. At our most basic core, the underlying action every BBYO member can take is to be the very best person and friend they can be to another teen. Especially for a teen who is in need of support from friends. This is when we're at our best.
Longtime friend of BBYO, Ben Nemtin, knows exactly how important it is to bring out the best in others and how to offer the very best of yourself to those in need around you. A former rugby champion from British Columbia, Ben struggled with depression in high school before his friends embraced him and helped him rise up. Together, they founded The Buried Life, and he has since become a successful television producer. Over time, Ben has emerged as an important voice, advocating for open dialogue around mental health and the value that friendship can play in the lives of those that folks need to lean on. Please join us in welcoming our first guest this morning, Ben Nemtin.
Thank you. BBYO, it's good to be back. How are you? It's good to be back with the tribe. So listen, I today want to tell you guys a story about how my friends and I started a bucket list and it completely changed our lives forever. Now, in order to tell that story properly, I need to bring you back when I was just older than you. I was graduating high school. And I was graduating high school, everything was good. Life was good. I had an academic scholarship to one of the best universities in Canada. I had just made the U19 national rugby team, and this was my dream. Now, I put a lot of pressure on myself to do well in school, and to do well in academics. And I was thinking about the World Cup that we were training for in France. And as I was thinking about it, I played fly half. And for those of you that don't know fly half, to give you a football analogy, it's like the quarterback and the field goal kicker in one. So I was thinking about the kicks, and I started worrying about the kicks. What if I missed an easy kick on the world stage? And these thoughts would run in my head at night, and this anxiety would come at night. And this anxiety led me not to be able to sleep. And this lack of sleep slid me down into a depression. Now, this is something I've never experienced before. Right? I'm someone that has a lot of friends. I always loved going around people, but all of a sudden I couldn't go to school. My parents would drive me to school, and I wouldn't get out of the car, and I'd drive right back home. So I dropped out of school. And it got to the point where I couldn't leave the house. My parents would make me just go for a 15-minute walk every day. I was literally a shut-in in my house, and I'd go down this front steps, and I'd hide in the driveway for 15 minutes. And then I'd come back, and I'd tell my parents I went for a walk. So I got dropped from the rugby team. Now, this lasted for months, and it wasn't until my friends came and pulled me out of the house, and we went to a new town to work for the summer, that I finally started feeling back to myself. I got a job, I started feeling some self-worth. I started meeting young people from around the world that had started businesses and were inspiring. And the way back from that summer abroad, summer in another town, I started feeling a little bit better. And I made a decision. I said, I'm only going to surround myself with people that inspire me, that bring me up. And I surveyed my friends, and there was one kid that ticked that box, and his name was Johnny. I knew two things about him. He was a filmmaker, and he took my sister to prom. So I was conflicted about whether I should reach out to him. But I did. I said, Johnny, let's make a movie. And he said, I'm down. Let's get our friend Dave and Duncan. And the four of us started talking about this movie that we wanted to make, but we had no idea what the movie was going to be about. All we knew is that we had all these things that we wanted to do, but we weren't doing them. And then Johnny got assigned this poem in English class at McGill called The Buried Life. And in this poem, it articulated this feeling we were feeling that we had all these things that we wanted to do, but we weren't doing them because they were buried. And we thought, how do we unbury ourselves? And we decided to make the most epic bucket list of all time. If we could do anything, what would we do? Well, we'd go to space. We'd make a TV show. We'd write a New York Times bestseller. We'd sit with Oprah. We'd play basketball with President Obama. And we decided that we were going to go after this list, knowing that we would never really accomplish any. But we thought, let's go after it and let's help other people do the things that they want to do on their bucket list. So that was the goal, 2-week road trip, cross things off our list and help other people. We boarded an RV, we bought a camera on eBay, and we hit the road. Now, what happened was this mix of magic and luck, where people started hearing about our list, and strangers would reach out and be like, I heard about your list, I can help you. Oh, here's my biggest dream. Can you help me? Now, that 2-week road trip has lasted 10 years. And now, thank you. Thank you. And we've been able to cross things off that we were sure were impossible. Right? Things like number 53, make a TV show on MTV. I think we have a photo. And things like number 95, play basketball with President Obama at the White House. Things like number 42, sit with Oprah. That was a bad choice of suit I made. And we just got back from London where we crossed off number 81, have a beer with Prince Harry. Now, oddly enough, it's not these big list items that mean the most. We were speaking in DC at BBYO a number of years ago, and we asked everyone to share what their list was. And a kid named Lucas stood up and he said, my dad's homeless. Before I die, I want to get him a home. And we were able to fundraise and bring some enough money together where we helped Lucas get his dad a home, and we're still connected with Lucas. Because when you share a moment with someone and you help them, you bond with them immediately, and that stays with you. So it's things like that. It's things like that. And this, I was flying back to LA And the stewardess came up to me and said, hey, this is a note from a girl in the back. And the note said, I dropped out of college because of depression. I've watched every episode of The Buried Life, and it's helped me get my life back on track. I just got into UCLA, which is why I'm on this plane. Thank you. Now, to this day, I don't know who wrote that note, but it means a lot to me because that's my story. And then I got another note. Then I got a few more. And then I got hundreds and thousands of emails, Facebook messages, tweets of people struggling with anxiety, depression, self-injury. Now, I don't know if you guys fully are aware, but this isn't a problem right now in the United States and around the world. This is a crisis. A crisis where every 16 minutes, someone in the US takes their own life. That's over 120 suicides a day. It's the #1 health-related killer of youth in Canada. Now, what do we do with that? How do you digest that type of statistic? Well, I'll tell you what we can do about it. We can break the stigma around mental health by having conversations. You can break the stigma around mental health by having healthy, productive conversations. And I say you because this is on you. Your parents aren't going to do it. Your grandparents aren't going to do it. You have to do it. You have to talk about it. And it's not on the 1 in 5 that struggle with mental health to break the stigma. It's on the 4 out of 5 that don't, to make the 1 in 5 feel okay to talk about. So 1 in 5 people struggle with mental illness. 800 people in this room struggle with mental illness. Put your hand up if you would help a friend if they called you when they were struggling. Put your hand up if you would be there for a friend if they are struggling. You see that, 800 people? You can talk about it. And it's good that you're raising your hand because one day you're going to need to call them. Because the truth is, everybody struggles. This is the human condition. We have ups, we have downs. And it's just important to talk about it, especially with guys. Especially with guys. Guys take their life more often because they don't ask for help. And it's not our fault. We were raised with this backwards definition of what it means to be a man, which is to stand up, don't talk about your feelings, don't show any weakness. Now, the truth is, that's backwards. That's backwards. To be a man is to have the courage to show your vulnerability, right? That's true leadership. So, when you're building these friendships at BBYO, build them so you can call on them when you're in that time of need. And when you're building these friendships at BBYO, band together and go after your list. Because now is the time to do epic things. So take big swings. Thank you guys so much.
Our programs are blank canvases, ready for the dreams of Olives and BBGs to bring them to life. Every time we provide an experience, post online, or share a flyer, we're communicating to the world, we are BBYO, and this is what we can do together. That's an unbelievably powerful message to share with other teens, and one that most teens can't find anywhere else. Elevating our program experiences does not have to be hard or expensive. We only grow when we work together, dream together, and build together. We are creating opportunities teens can't find anywhere else, and every person in this room can lead in this movement.
It is our pleasure to celebrate those chapters that are providing a top-notch experience for their members and have earned recognition as Henry Monsky, Miriam Albert, and Maurice Bisgeyer Chapters of Excellence this year.
There are now more ways than ever before for any member of AZA, BBG, or BBYO to propel the movement forward. We're working to flatten the movement so that it's the measure of the Aleph or BBG and not any position title that dictates who can lead and from what stage.
And we've been supporting the creativity and innovation of individual members, as well as dozens of chapters, by distributing more than $40,000 in Game Changer grants to teens and communities with neat new ideas they want to try locally. If you have an idea that you think will powerfully impact Jewish teens in your area and help grow AZA and BBG where you live, you can apply for a quick turnaround Game Changer grant online too.
Of course, BBYO works best when we're a team. There's no disputing that. Every teen can be a part of our movement, and any teen can lead our movement too. If you have a dream, share it. Together we will. Any Aleph or B'nai B'rith girl can be an engine of change. We always need new voices and new perspectives. The programs, activities, and experiences we offer show the wider world what's important to BBYO. The BBYO Global Movement's priorities reflect what's important to you, each individual member. Use your voice, move us forward, shape what we'll do together.
That's exactly what Zach Wahls did. 7 years ago, an inspiring 3-minute video ripped across the internet when Zach defended the rights of his 2 moms at an Iowa State Assembly public forum. He argued that it is love that a family shared that should matter and not any particular construct. Always active in the gay rights community, he identified how he could uniquely contribute. Zach, an Eagle Scout, launched Scouts for Equality. They defeated policies banning gay scouts and rules against gay scout leaders, forever changing the Boy Scouts of America. Today, Zach Wahls is an Iowa State Senate candidate and is working for a just future for all people. Please welcome Zach.
Good morning. My name is Zach Wahls, and mostly I'm just incredibly impressed that you were all here given how much fun you had at Universal Studios last night. Did you guys have a good time? Good. I'd like to begin this morning by just thanking the BBYO organizers who made this international conference possible. Will you all please join me in giving them a big round of applause? Make sure they can hear you. Thank you. Now, I've been very struck by the Together We Will theme because it's so important for us to understand the challenges that face all young people as a generation. We will have to work together to overcome the international struggle against climate change, to protect religious and ethnic minorities, and to continue to advance causes like Black Lives Matter, LGBTQ rights, and ending gun violence in the United States of America. I hope that that theme has resonated with you too. It sure sounds like it. And I hope that you're starting to give some thought to who you will work with to make the change that you want to see in the world when you go home. Now, for some of you, that may mean speaking out in favor of common sense gun safety reform that will end the epidemic of gun violence here in the United States. Yesterday, I had the chance to listen in on a conversation that many of you had with my friend Jason Kander. Isn't he great? And I want every single one of you to know that you will be the most effective advocates for gun safety reform that this country has ever seen. We have the opportunity together to push for common sense gun reform and to end gun violence in the United States of America. So thank you all so much for your passion on that issue. Now, the reason I'm on stage this morning talking with you today is because for the last 7 years, I've been an advocate, unexpectedly, for LGBTQ rights. As was mentioned in the introduction, I grew up with lesbian parents a little bit before it was cool. We didn't have TV shows like Modern Family when I was growing up. Any Modern Family fans in the house? I know I'm from Iowa, and when our state legalized same-sex marriage in 2009, it was a really big deal. My moms had their official wedding ceremony, and I got to be the best man at their wedding. It was really special for us as a family. They walked down the aisle to the theme song from Star Trek, to boldly go where no man had gone before, literally in their case. It was a very happy moment for our family, and we thought that our struggle was over. I was not planning to become an activist because I thought that we were in pretty good shape, and we were wrong. Just 2 years later, there was an effort to repeal same-sex marriage in Iowa, and when that happened, a call went out across our state asking for people to come to the capital of Iowa to testify against this repeal. And when I heard that call, I knew that I had to go and say something for a very simple reason. I knew I had to go because I will never forget how I felt when I was 13 years old, a little younger than you are right now, and I had to watch the Republican National Convention for a homework assignment. And this isn't to bash Republicans, but I had to listen to politicians describe the war in Iraq and radical Islamic terror in one breath, and families like mine in the next. I remember feeling scared and confused and alone. And like the government was coming for me and for my family and families like ours. So in 2011, when this ban on same-sex marriage was being proposed, I thought back to how I had felt as an 8th grader, and I knew that I had to say something. I was only 19 years old, but I knew that 8th grade me would have been incredibly upset at college sophomore me if I didn't stand and fight for my family. So I figured out what I wanted to say. I got in my Pontiac Grand Am, I drove to our state capitol, and I said what I had to say. And about 36 hours later, my life was turned upside down. It was a snow day, and so I was planning to just chill out and play some video games. But unbeknownst to me, somebody had recorded a video of my speech and uploaded it to YouTube, and the next thing I know, on that snowy morning, I got a phone call asking me to be on the Ellen DeGeneres show. That was my reaction too. It was pretty cool. And then MSNBC called, and then CBS called, and then like a bunch of shows that I had never even heard of, and all of a sudden, it quickly became clear to me that this was going to be the single most stressful snow day of my entire life. The speech went on to become YouTube's most watched political video of the year, and I went on, oh, well, thank you. And literally overnight, I became the poster child for same-sex marriage in Iowa, and I went on to speak all over our state talking about families like ours, to advocate on a national level for other families like mine, and to lead the fight to end discrimination in the Boy Scouts of America and their ban against gay members, and we won. Now, I'm not telling you all of this to brag about how cool I am and all of my accomplishments. What I want you to understand is that as important as it is for us to work together to make the world a better place, you should never, ever underestimate your ability as an individual to change the world when you stand up for what is right. Now, for our generation, having smartphones and video cameras on almost all the time is just how we grew up. For our parents, they're still getting used to it. We're in a strange moment of transition where the videos we are recording are fundamentally changing how we understand the world, whether it's for Black Lives Matter or speeches about gay rights like mine, or what happened earlier this week at a high school right here in Florida. Even though having these cameras around us at all times feels normal to us, I just want you to think through what that really means. At any given moment, your words, your story, your experience can be recorded and shared and potentially go viral and change your life. And if that happens to you, or when that happens to you, that's when you put your team together and you work together to keep making change and transfer that moment into a movement. So in closing, as the conference is winding down and you're going home, wherever that may be, I was incredibly impressed at the list of countries that we have here today. Just remember that the words you speak and the stories you share are more powerful now than they've ever been before. And remember that you never know who is watching or what will happen next, and you just never know when you might have the most stressful snow day of your life. Thank you all so much, BBYO. Have a great one.
We are delighted to share with you that the Jewish world is making new investments in BBYO. And we received word last week of a new $3.9 million grant to deepen Jewish enrichment, Israel education, and our ability to host Jewish leaders and educators at our regional conventions, summer programs, and IC for years to come. We will inspire Jewish curiosity across AZA and BBG in ways we haven't been able to do so yet. This opportunity will greatly impact what the Jewish community looks like decades from now.
And still, we have members that are individually invested and personally passionate about various aspects of Jewish life. We are proud of our brother Alepht's and sister B'nai B'rith girls that have been on the front lines of stand-up, community service, philanthropy, and advocacy programming. It is through these focuses that we build AZA and BBG as incubators of social innovation and compassionate change. These are the chapters we recognize as this year's bronze, silver, and gold recipients of BBYO's Stand-Up Gemilut Chassidim Award.
And we are inspired by and delighted to recognize the many teens exploring, traveling to, and advocating on behalf of Israel in classrooms, across communities, and with elected leaders, especially as we celebrate Israel's 70th year of independence. This year's honorees are the Aravut Speak Up Award for Israel, our Alepht's and B'nai B'rith girls that have gone above and beyond in their work regarding Israel education and Israel-related programming.
Our next guest is also someone who has gone above and beyond as a leader and defended Israel as an equal nation among all nations, even when that view was unpopular. Noah Liu, a lifetime member of Mendel Blumenfield AZA 121 from Northwest Canada, is a senior at McGill University and was challenged by his peers to be ejected from his leadership role in student government because of his support for Israel. Later, it became clear that the issue was because Noah was Jewish. When featured in international press and asked to address national Jewish Canadian leaders, Noah admirably displayed his commitment to the Jewish people in Israel that his family, community, and BBYO instilled in him. Please join us in welcoming Noah Liu.
In September 2011, I was inducted into Mendel Bloomfield number 121, Northwest Canada region number 87, and the Grand Order of the Aleph Tzadik Aleph. AZA quickly became one of the most important aspects of my life. During my 4 short years as an Aleph, I learned how to be a leader. I learned what it means to be part of a movement and what it means to work and fight for the things I believe in. When I started college at McGill University, I began taking on leadership roles in Jewish life on campus. In my second year, I decided to apply myself to making a difference in my student government and tackling the challenges that Jewish students were facing. I joined the board of directors of my student union, which is our highest governing body. As a member of the board of directors, I helped ratify a decision which declared boycott, divestment, and sanctions motions against Israel, BDS, to be discriminatory and thus unconstitutional. This effectively banned BDS from my campus. In response, BDS supporters mobilized to vote me and other pro-Israel students out of our leadership roles, purely due to the fact that we were Jewish, affiliated with Jewish organizations, and believe in the right to Jewish self-determination. When I was voted out, there was not one word of discussion or debate about my qualifications for the position. I was simply voted off the board. In the aftermath of being unjustly removed from student government, I made a statement on my Facebook that quickly went viral. My story made it on TV, radio, and was featured in over a dozen articles in Canadian, American, and Israeli newspapers. Through the efforts of almost 1,000 other students who signed a petition calling for justice on my behalf, I was ultimately reinstated to my position on the board of directors. No Jewish student should face this type of adversity and discrimination when pursuing involvement in student government. No student of any kind should ever be prevented from serving in student government because of who they are. Although this saga was upsetting, I would like to emphasize how overall my experience in university has been phenomenal. Jewish life on North American campuses is thriving. Behind every headline about a BDS motion are hundreds of Purim parties, thousands of Shabbat dinners, and millions of amazing Jewish campus experiences. Do not be afraid to be a Jewish college student. Walk onto campuses around the world with your heads held high, and never be afraid to wear a Star of David necklace or a kippah on campus. And if it's something that you're interested in, get involved. Whether it's joining a club, immersing yourself in Jewish life, or running for student government, get involved. My involvement has brought me new friendships, amazing opportunities, and has arguably taught me more than any classes ever could. It even bought me a ticket to IC to be here with all of you. In 2014 and 2015, I attended IC as an Aleph and listened in awe to the speakers up on this stage. I thought to myself, one day, I want to be up there speaking. Well, one day came a lot sooner than expected. One day, you may be up here speaking. My journey began here in BBYO. My story began where you are now, and in a few short years, it's led me here. What will your stories be? When you leave BBYO, bring with you everything it's taught you, go to your campuses and out into the world, and make a positive impact. Each one of us is able to make a difference, and together, the potential that we can have is tremendous. Together, we will.
Wow. Good morning, everyone. Last summer, we had no idea the year would be filled with so many moments when we'd have to come together. When the horrific events of Charlottesville happened, the same weekend we were installed in our roles, we allocated program funds to help with the Interfaith Shabbat that Ari spoke about Friday morning. When unprecedented hurricanes ravaged Houston, Florida, and Puerto Rico, we immediately worked to launch an emergency response campaign to support our friends in Lone Star, North Florida, Gold Coast, and Miami. When wildfires in California tore through the Union for Reform Judaism's Camp Newman, we wasted no time in making an emergency contribution to help NIFTY with rebuilding. Thanks to the International Service Fund, we had resources to help in times of crisis.
We are glad we've been able to help, and while we do not always have enough, we could, and together we will. As we look to the spring and the year ahead, we will assemble and implement a plan to elevate our teen-led fundraising and giving. It's vital that we prioritize fundraising so that we have the resources we need to fix the world, support one another, and stand together. The International Service Fund, or ISF, is AZA and BBG's treasury. It's ours to invest in, and it's ours to allocate from. It supports our response to crisis, program opportunities, and need-based scholarship for teens worldwide. This is our responsibility, but it's also our opportunity, and there's so much we can do around the world. In fact, there's already a lot happening around the world. There's probably no element of our movement developing more quickly than our international expansion. We're seeking chapters that want partnerships and teens who want in on BBYO ambassador programs to teach English or have a pen pal from another country. If you or your chapter is interested, please contact us at azabbg@bbyo.org at any time. We'll set you up right away.
We are delighted to welcome our newest communities into the family. Welcome home Australia, Colombia, China, Mexico, and Spain. Each of these communities have had chapters historically, some as recently as 2006 and some as many as decades ago. Remarkably, AZA's first chapters in Shanghai were founded by German Jewish refugees in 1941. Max, Talia, and Hannah, thank you for being with us here this weekend. What started as a dream, and because of the determination of many, we're so proud to welcome these chapters back into our movement. We can't wait to see all that we achieve together.
We're also really excited to celebrate our new partner in Germany, Zev Estet. Zev Estet is the largest Jewish teen movement in Germany. We share similar values and goals. Just last weekend, they held their largest event of the year, Eurovision, a national singing competition that brings 1,500 Jewish teens from all over Germany together. We have much to learn from each other, and we are honored to have Zev Estet's inaugural delegation here with us this week. We are going to accomplish incredible things together.
We are so proud of what's underway across BBYO Latin America. Buenos Aires is chartering new chapters, holding excellent programs, and reaching hundreds of new Jewish teens. Hebraica is the driving force connecting BBYO with new Jewish teen communities in Chile, Colombia, and Mexico as we deepen our support for Uruguay. Next month, we'll send an ambassador's delegation to the Maccabi Convention in Chile to continue building our movement across Latin America. We also want to specifically acknowledge Maccabi Tzair Uruguay for their participation in so many BBYO initiatives throughout the year. Thank you for being such an excellent partner.
And across Europe, we're seeing similar momentum. BBYO United Kingdom and Ireland is launching new chapters and having larger event turnouts than they've seen in years. BBYO Hungary elected its first chapter board and hosted a Central European convention with our friends in Denmark, Slovakia, and all across the region. BBYO Austria is building strong ties with their country's parliament. BBYO Bulgaria and BBYO Balkans shine as their community's strongest teen programs, and Turkey held its first ever convention this fall. We're relaunching BBYO France this spring, deepening our partnerships with Estonia, Latvia, and Lithuania, and we're expanding our summer leadership programs to include Switzerland's Hago Shrim. Later this summer, hundreds of BBYO teens will arrive in Israel for the first time to explore the Jewish state and have the chance to connect with Maccabi Tzair. Thank you for making us feel at home in Israel.
We do want to take a moment to express solidarity with our Polish brothers and sisters who are with us today. We know there's been a lot of debate lately about Poland's Jewish history and how open Poland should be to certain communities, including Jews. We love you. We stand with you. We have your back. You have a global family that will support you with whatever you need, whenever you are in need. Just ask and we will do what we must to respond promptly and properly. Thank you for joining us here in Orlando.
And finally, we couldn't be prouder of all that we're doing with Active Jewish Teens, a program of the JDC and our sister movement across the former Soviet Union. It feels like every month we're sharing a new success. Our teen leaders and staff are working closely together to expand our impact on thousands of Jewish teens. Visiting you in Ukraine was inspiring, and we'd like to share a short video highlighting the impact of our experience with our friends in AJT.
AJT, woo! Here at Ambassadors to Ukraine, I'm spending time with teens from all over the former Soviet Union as well as North America, learning about what Judaism is here and how they have made that into this unbelievable and really inspiring youth movement that reaches so many teens across an area where just years ago practicing Judaism was frowned upon and perhaps even prohibited. And it's amazing to think that their parents were not able to freely practice Judaism, and now here they are freely practicing Judaism, but not only freely practicing it, but practicing it with pride and with joy and with this community that is unlike any other I've ever seen.
AGT for me, it is a movement. It is very interesting to be here because I feel that I am a piece of something big, something very interesting.
There's kind of a feeling that everybody sort of knows each other, even though we've never actually met before.
We all have this common bond of Judaism that we all share, and we may practice differently, but we still share that unique connection and love for Judaism.
A lot of us know the same Hebrew prayers. That's so cool. We all know Hebrew songs, and that really allows us to stay focused on why we're all connected.
AGT is my family. There are people that can help me, that always give me a smile. It's awesome, it's perfect experience. There we have ability to speak with guys from USA, from another country, not from FSU. We can know something new about their life, not only about Jewish life, just about their life like teens.
I learned English for 8 years and I have only one problem. I can't have any English practice in my life with native speakers. But today, these 4 days in a conference, I live in a room. 2 of my roommates are from America. I can speak English with them. It's a very big moment for me. I want to have exchange programs with BBYO.
It's important to acknowledge that we're not the same, and that's okay, and that's kind of exciting because with all of these differences, our roots are really what connect us.
And we have so much in common that we really don't think about, because when we think, what do I have in common with a kid from Ukraine? Like, they're so far away. It's like we can't even speak their language. There's nothing similar. And that's so wrong. That could not be farther from the truth.
I, along with 5 other people, met with a woman, 95-year-old woman, who was a medical assistant in the army during World War II, Jewish woman. She escaped to Ukraine in 1942 after the Nazi invasion, and she was able to build a life, and she was a Nazi victim and a survivor. And she talked about how the Jewish community to her is something that's so important and needs to be supported and cared for forever, and that it really is a community where people look out for one another. And I saw that in Kiev, and I've seen that here in Kharkov, and she inspired me truly to keep that flame alive.
Never too many, never too strong. Together, we will. We believe at our core that there's a place for every Jewish teen within our movement. We believe that the best way for a teen to embrace, own, and explore their Jewish identity is to join AZA and BBG. Well beyond 500,000 Jewish teens have found themselves, friends, and purpose as members throughout our history. All because at one time or another, someone invited them to join.
The immense power that each of us holds to change another teen's life for the better by asking them to come along to a program or take part in our chapters goes well beyond being able to explain in words alone. We have the power to excite teens about Judaism and their connection to the Jewish community in ways that influence their friendships, college and career choices, their value systems, and the ways in which they see the world. Sharing the gift of AZA and BBG is the greatest way any of us can enrich the life of another Jewish teen. We implore you to think about all the Jewish teens in your life that we have yet to share our movement with and make plans to do so when you return home.
This morning, there are many in this room that know the reward of welcoming others into AZA and BBG. It is our esteemed pleasure to recognize those Olives and BBGs who are this year's Tree of Life and Eternal Light Recruitment Awards honorees. These award winners have recruited 6 or more teens to our fraternity or sisterhood, forever changing the courses of their lives and forever changing the trajectory of the Aleph Zadik Aleph and B'nai B'rith girls.
It's simply one of BBYO's primary truths. Chapters, regions, and countries that participate in summer immersive and international convention thrive. Yes, it's where we learn how to start chapters, how to welcome recruits and train AITs and MITs, but it's also where you learn what kind of leader and teammate you want to be. You explore how to take responsibility, how to support others, and how you want to be viewed by those you're working alongside. Immersive experiences build character, confidence, capability, and coach you on perseverance, personal accountability, and humility.
And these are all the qualities you'd expect to find in a tested leader, in a captain. Abby Wambach is a retired soccer player, coach, 2-time Olympic gold medalist, and FIFA Women's World Cup champion. She currently stands as the highest all-time goal scorer for the national team and holds the world record for international goals for both female and male soccer players with 184 goals. In 2012, she was awarded the FIFA World Player of the Year, and in 2015, Time magazine named her one of the 100 most influential people in the world. As a former team captain, as a public figure, as an author, wife, and mother, Abby has stretched her leadership skills in a variety of ways in a multitude of arenas. Please join us in welcoming Abby Wambach to International Convention.
Thank you. I'm a hugger. Let's do it. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
How's it going?
It's great. How are you?
Great. Thanks. Hey, you guys. So before I start, I just have to say thank you for being here. I spent the last 10, 15 minutes backstage talking to all the teen leaders back there. And it gives me so much hope in such face of darkness. So you guys being here is actually changing the world. I actually believe that. I do things like this a lot. Thank you so much. So I want to talk about who you want to be and how you want to get there. Note, I didn't say what. I don't care what you do to earn money, and at this point in your life, neither should you. I do care about who you want to be. Now, people ask me all the time, how did you become such a great soccer player? What steps did you take? What breakfast did you eat? And of course, I can give you all those little details. But it doesn't matter, because the way that I processed through my life, the way that I worked, the person that I was with the talent of being a soccer player actually mattered more to my success than my skill. So I'm going to talk about 3 things: courage, kindness, and wisdom. What is courage? Is courage fearlessness? Do you guys think courage is fearlessness? No. Quick story. I don't know if you guys remember, but the 2011 World Cup, I scored this goal. It's like last minute, last second goal against Brazil. Nice humble brag, right? But that goal actually didn't finish the game. We had to go into penalty kicks after that goal. And during all of our games and practices, our national team wear heart rate monitors, okay? So it was my turn to shoot the penalty kick, and our strength and conditioning coach, she goes around the world showing this information and data to prove how cool she is. And what my heart rate showed was I was standing in place in front of this penalty shot, and my heart rate went to its 90th percent. Now, in the physical fitness world, that's nearing like pass out. Like that's like at my peak heart rate. But I was just standing there. So for me, courage has nothing to do with fearlessness. Everybody always is, how are you so fearless? I'm like, I'm not. I'm full of fear. But I just have the courage to go anyway. I think that every day, yes, you can clap. Courage is unique, and every person can express their courage in different ways. I did it on the soccer field. I do it every single day, parenting my children. That is scary. It takes a lot of courage to do that every single day, not knowing what the heck I'm doing. All parents out there know what I'm talking about. Courage is also doing something that, especially you guys, the teens in this room, that you might not feel like you have complete control or solid ground underneath your feet. Courage is standing up for somebody when you might be yelled at, or you might have something taken away from you. Like Emma Gonzalez the other day. Standing up, speaking truth to power. That's courage. If you guys don't know Emma Gonzalez, Google it. Not right now, but later. Kindness. It's the second thing I want to talk about. You guys, I have a simple philosophy in life, and it's just a no a-hole policy. Okay? Kindness is so undervalued. Why is it so hard for us to find any gratitude? Why is it so hard for us now to say thank you? I appreciate you. When so much negativity is happening around us, so much negativity is happening on social media, kindness is such an undervalued trait right now. Thank your parents for making you food that may taste good. Thank your friends for being across from you and listening to you while you talk about the fears of your life. And then surround yourself with people that are not a-holes. And let me tell you this. You know them. You guys know what feels right. My wife and I, we talk a lot about warm and cold when we have to make certain decisions. So we go into our bodies and we're like, does this feel warm? Does this feel like I want to take a step forward? Or does it feel cold, like I kind of want to crawl up into a ball and run away? People do that. The energy people give off, the energy people give you, you get to decide who you put in your sphere. Who you put around you will determine whether or not you have joy, success, good friendships, and happiness. Third element is wisdom. You guys, I would say courage is kind of like that quick thing that you can like have immediately. Kindness is a way of being. And then wisdom is like the long game. Being wise about the decisions that you make today, that you can understand in your head and in your heart that it will affect your life in 5, 10, 15 years. If somebody's trying to sell you a fast track to success, be cautious. Walk up to people with curiosity instead of judgment. Wisdom has everything to do with who you want to become. And the way to become the person that you're meant to be is by making the decisions day in and day out. Feels a little bit boring, but those wise people have the best, happiest, most joyful lives because they make those hard decisions day in and day out. You guys, I've had a unique opportunity to represent my country, and I'm fiercely proud of it. I've won Olympic gold medals, I've won a World Cup championship, and I'm telling you, the best work of my life is to be able to get up and stand up in front of teens, in front of kids, and hopefully give them a little bit of insight in what could make them happy, what could make them successful in their lives. I am sorry about where we are right now in our lives, in our world. I'm sorry that you guys are inheriting the world that we have. I'm sorry I haven't done more to protect you and to make you guys feel safe. But I need your help. Will you guys help me make this world better? Will you guys go into your today with a little bit more courage, with a little bit more kindness, with a little bit more wisdom? Because I actually feel like in this room, things can change. They're small, they're effective, they're measurable, but you guys can do it. You guys are the answer to changing our future. I promise you. I promise you. I'll leave you with this. I got married in May and became the mother of 3 amazing children. My wife is here and my 12-year-old daughter Tish is here. And the fact that a lesbian woman can stand on this stage in front of you guys makes me feel so proud and so confident in the future and the state of wherever you guys want to take us. Thank you guys so much. I really appreciate it.
Leadership is often a continuum. We'd like to take a moment to recognize some of the people who have been living our values loudest by acknowledging this year's recipients of the Bronze and Silver Shield of David and the Gold and Silver Star of Deborah.
Because of your commitment not only to AZA and BBG, but to the entirety of Am Yisrael, we are able to be here today. You are the example we look to when we ask for the best and brightest of our movement to take on the challenges facing our world. Thank you for your unwavering loyalty to the principles today and for your contributions to the future of the Jewish people.
Our final honors of the morning are our Advisor of the Year awards, honoring adults in our lives that give their weekends, their free time, their unconditional love, and their wisdom, stemming from a dedication to giving Jewish teens the world's greatest experience for a Jewish teen.
The David Bicker Advisor of the Year is given every year to the advisors who have gone above and beyond the call of duty to serve the Olives and B'nai B'rith girls of our movement. We'd like to welcome to the stage 3 of our advisors who have made great strides in building a more interconnected Am Yisrael: Matthew Nierenberg, Rochelle Gardner, and Linda Veroban.
Matthew Nierenberg from Hurricane AZA number 843 is an incredible member of the Miami BBYO community. He's a champion for teens and has a unique ability to steward teens to moments of growth and leadership. He's always willing to listen, to offer advice when appropriate, and to be a shoulder for any olive to lean on.
Rochelle Gardner, advisor from Joyce Eva Kivyat BBG number 646, is one of Mountain Region's finest. Rochelle is a tireless advocate for the BBGs in her chapter and works without end to offer them leadership lessons, growth opportunities, and moments to shine. She is never too busy for a conversation or a question and is always the first to volunteer.
Linda Veroban is BBYO's director in Budapest, Hungary, which has been a shining example of what it means to be a part of BBYO in Europe. Their leadership structure has sophisticated enormously in the recent past, and they are flourishing under the leadership and direction of Linda. She is ensuring that BBYO is a professional, compelling, and impressive program opportunity for hundreds of Hungarian Jewish teens each year, and we're so grateful to have her as a part of the BBYO professional family.
It is also our honor to acknowledge the Maccabi Tzair Uruguay as a top global partner of the year. Our partnerships with this community is inspiring, and our relationships are growing exponentially. Uruguay annually sends one of the largest international delegations each year, regularly participates in movement initiatives like Fall Fest, J-Serve, and connects us more deeply to our sister movement Maccabi Tzair. Our work with Maccabi Tzair Uruguay is just beginning, and we're thrilled to have such a wonderful partner at our side, working to impact the lives of teens worldwide. Martin, Frederico, and Rodrigo, join us for this award. Thank you for your partnership. If you will it, it is no dream. And if you do not will it, a dream it is, and a dream it will stay.
Together, we will build upon our legacy. Just as we are privileged to stand on the shoulders of the giants who came before us, we feel an inspiring obligation to pass on a more powerful movement to the next wave of leadership.
Among the milestones we celebrate this year, this April, BBG Founders Day will mark the 75th anniversary of the International Order of the B'nai B'rith Girls. Indeed, BBG is alive and well. This will be a year where we will pay tribute to all the visionary women that came before us through the moves we make and the way we come together, creating platforms for more young Jewish women to rise and to thrive. Let's make Anita proud.
Our next guest, Alisa Carson, understands this better than most. She knows the importance of playing the long game. At 16 years old, she is training to join the first human mission to Mars and has already been accepted as a Mars One ambassador. She has attended space camp in the United States, Canada, and Turkey. She appeared in the movie The Mars Generation and has spoken at conferences around the world about her goals and experiences. She also knows, however, that her mission may not make it, or if it does, it may not return to Earth, and recognizes that the work that she does will provide information that will pave the way for the next set of explorers. Known by her friends and colleagues at NASA as Blueberry, please join us in welcoming Alisa Carson.
Thanks. On a clear night, I love to look up at the sky and search for one specific planet. It looks as small as a dot. Some of you may call it the red planet or Mars. I call it home. My earliest memory was at 3 years old. I was watching a cartoon where these creature friends would go on imaginary adventures in their backyard. One of the episodes was a mission to Mars. It looked so exciting, I went running to my dad to find out if humans had really gone to Mars. He told me that man had gone to the moon, but not Mars. But it would be my generation who would go to Mars and become the Mars generation. At that moment, something in my heart got awakened. Even at 3 years old, I realized I was born on planet Earth with a mission to be one of the first to land on the red planet, my home. Since then, I have dedicated my life to training, learning, and teaching, and I'm taking all of the necessary steps required and work hard every day in order to make this dream a reality. Now, every time I talk about this mission, I'm always asked, why should humans go to Mars? And how will this help change the world? Now, the first thing that comes to my mind when I hear these questions is actually an ancient Greek proverb. A society grows great when old men plant trees whose shade they know they shall never sit in. This proverb teaches us the importance of planning ahead for future generations. Our ancestors have explored and made our world a better place to live in, and the mission to Mars will do the same. Now, in my journey, I have been blessed with many experiences. One of my proudest moments was actually at age 12, being selected to the NASA MER 10 panel to discuss future missions to Mars in the 2030s. The other panelists were PhDs and an astronaut. And it was so great of them to want to hear from me, the journey I had been on, my dream to go to Mars, and how I was planning on doing that. This experience helped launch my dream even higher. Since then, I have learned many lessons, and would like to share 3 of them with you guys today. So 1, what is your out of this world dream? Each one of us is born with a special talent, a unique dream or aspiration. Now, I'm always surprised to hear that people block these seeds of dreams and give up on their dreams due to fear and worry. Also, to my surprise, is the number of adults that look back at their lives, only to wish they had worked to follow their dream from an early age. My story, my dream, that in 2033 I hope to achieve is the mission to Mars. My dream is out of this world, literally. What about you? What is your dream that is out of this world? And what are you doing to launch your mission? 2, we are all one. As part of my training, I've had the opportunity to travel to 16 countries. I also attend the Baton Rouge International School, where I learn all my subjects in 4 languages. I am taught by teachers who are from all over the world and native to the language they are teaching the subjects in. I've learned that we all have the same dreams, hopes, aspirations, challenges, regardless of what country we come from, backgrounds, or even the language we speak. We all want to live in peace. We all want to have our needs met. We all want our families to be healthy and happy. My training taught me that we are all global citizens. We are all humans, and we are all one. 3, the importance of believing in and helping others. Now, I wonder sometimes what my dad initially thought about my mission. Did he think of me as another child who dreams to put on the little astronaut suit and go out and play the backyard adventure I had seen on TV? One day, I saw him shed tears when he saw that I was recognized with the highest Space Camp award, the Right Stuff Award. He told me that he realized at that moment that nothing would stop me in my quest to go to Mars. He has been supporting me ever since my earliest memories. He has been my biggest supporter. And because of his belief in me, I am here in front of you today. And I'm thankful for that. Yes, thank you. All I needed was one person to believe in me completely, which led to all of the incredible people in my life that are part of this giant step for humankind. Who has been supporting you with your path? And what are you doing to support others? We need someone to help support us in our quest for our dreams, and in return, support someone with theirs. In conclusion, 15 years from today, I will be home, standing on red sand, looking up at the clear sky, looking for a little pale blue dot, looking for our planet Earth. I will be wondering about all of you, hoping you have continued to plant trees by believing in your dreams, by appreciating our human oneness, and by helping others. Never stop dreaming, never give up, and never let anyone take your dreams away from you. This is a time of change, a time to take back home what you've learned here at the BBYO International Convention, and a time to plant the tree. I am Alisa Carson, call sign Blueberry. We are the Mars generation, and together we will. Thank you.
Thank you for joining us here this morning, Alisa. We admire your bravery, leadership, and commitment to something so much bigger than yourself. A role model to all those within our generation that are striving to advance society and humanity forward. It is our honor to name you a recipient of this year's BBYO International Stand-Up Award, a recognition that is bestowed upon those individuals that represent AZA and BBG's values and our willingness to serve the public. Congratulations on this moment, and best of luck in your pursuits forward.
Thank you so much.
Let's smile for the camera.
Thanks.
When we gather in Denver for International Convention 2019, what will this movement have to show for another year of building, growing, and mobilizing? Will we be on the front lines of making change in our local communities? Will we be the dreamers of new dreams and the creators of new visions? Will we be able to say that we put every ounce of our hearts, souls, sweat, and tears into overcoming the obstacles set before us? Will we be the ones who step up, not as the leaders of tomorrow, but as the leaders of today?
Sam Bieber's message to us is crystal clear. What we have accomplished in the past is a record of unwavering loyalty and devotion to these Menorah Pledge and cardinal principles. What we hope to accomplish in the years to come will likewise be measured by the extent to which we adhere to those principles.
If you will it, it is no dream. And AZA and BBG, together we will.
Submitted with undying love for the Grand Order of the Aleph Tzadik Aleph.
And the International Order of the B'nai B'rith Girls. We remain.
Ron Chasson, your 93rd Grand Aleph Gadol.
And Rebecca Saraboff, your 73rd International Nasiya.
Is there a motion to accept the State of the Order as presented by your 93rd Grand Board and 93rd Grand Alf Gadol Ron Hassan? The chair recognizes Ramon AZA number 195. Is there a second? The chair recognizes Central Region West. Is there a call? The chair recognizes the 93rd Grand Board of the Aleph Tzaddik Aleph.
Is there a motion to accept the State of the Order as presented by our 73rd International Nasiya, Rebecca Sereboff? The chair recognizes Achot BBG number 2383. Is there a second? The chair recognizes Northern Region East Baltimore Council. Is there a call? The chair recognizes the 73rd International Board of the B'nai B'rith Girls. Is there any dissent? Dissent?
Grand Aleph Moreh, what say you?
Aleph, Ron, Hassan. Aleph, Ron, Hassan.
International Amel Chaperot, what say you?
Rebecca, Faye, Sarah. Rebecca, Faye.
Grand Aleph Moskier, what say you?
Sarah. Rebecca, Faye, Sarah.
International Moskirah, what say you?
Rebecca, Faye, Sarah. Rebecca.
Grand Aleph Shaliach, what say you?
Faye, Sarah. Rebecca.
International Shlicha, what say you?
CRW, what say you?
Northern Region East Baltimore Council, what say you?
Aleph Tzaddik Aleph, what say you?
B'nai B'rith Girls, what say you?
Grand Aleph Moreh, do you withdraw your dissent?
International Amel Chaperot, do you withdraw your dissent?
Yes.
With that, we have accepted the State of the Grand Order of the Aleph Tzaddik Aleph.
And the International Order of the B'nai B'rith Girls.
Grand Aleph Moreh, the business of this meeting is ended. What say you?
Let us go forth into the world and practice the principles of patriotism and Judaism, those principles of honor that we preach here.
Grand Aleph Moskir, the business of this meeting is ended. What say you?
Let us go forth into the world and show that the things patriotism and Judaism stand for are the things we value most. Let us manifest in our lives kindly deeds, unselfishness, and a desire to serve.
Grand Aleph Shaliach, you will lead us in prayer.
Oh, sorry, buddy. Our Father, Father of Israel and all mankind, we ask Thee to give us strength so that we may carry with us outside the order the great lessons we have learned while together. Help us so to live that we may be worthy of our comradeship, our country, and our religion. May we always so conduct ourselves that we will bring no discredit upon them.
Amen. My brothers, let us go into the world and show all men we dedicate ourselves to honor, truth, virtue, and to justice. Thus we hasten the day when all men will acknowledge the common fatherhood of God and the common brotherhood of man. I now declare this special meeting of the Aleph Tzaddik Aleph closed. Shoter Gadol, allow those present to depart in peace.
Now that our business has ended, it is our hope that we have carried on our deliberations in a manner befitting the great organization of which we are a part. Let us leave now with free and joyous hearts and with minds that are filled with thought and of deeds that are pure and noble. Will the Shomer Habrit please read the closing prayer?
Young people, don't be afraid. Be focused, be determined, be hopeful, be empowered. Empower yourselves. Michelle Obama.
I
I now declare this meeting officially adjourned. Let us all join hands in a friendship circle and sing our international BBG song.
What do I do? Just wrap the gabs on. Wait, I forgot.
I got it. Woo! All right, everybody. We are about to prep for Sunday logistics and dismissal. So if you just listen up here for where to go and where to be, we've got you guys. So here we go.